Hi, my name is James Shepard, and in this last demo, we're going to just show you very briefly how to create a side-by-side comparison. So if we click on the Prospects tab here and we create a new prospect, the first thing I want to point out is that we definitely want to create at least a new quote for someone who is going to do a side-by-side, because in the previous demos, I've been showing you numbers like 20,000 in volume or 10,000 in volume, and clearly those are just guesses that we're making based on the merchant telling us, yeah, I did roughly 15,000 in volume. But if we're going to do a side-by-side comparison, we really want to make sure that it's extremely accurate. So in order to do that, let's create a brand new prospect. And we're going to choose, in this case, a full-service restaurant. And let's call this one the Fine Dining Establishment. Then we're going to go down to Save and Quotes. Again, we'll name this the March 2018. We'll call it the Side-by-Side. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some more specific numbers in here. So again, here's where we're going to have all the detailed information that's going to be a little bit more accurate for these different types of fees and things like that. So the average ticket, let's say it was $43.21. Total current fees, let's say it was $665.87. So the idea here is that when you're doing a side-by-side comparison, you should have the statement in front of you, and this form should look pretty exact, unlike in the previous demos where we were really just trying to get a really quick proposal. So we're going to go ahead and click on Create. Then we're going to be able to choose our program. So we're going to go back to the one we created earlier that, if you remember, it was called Your Program. Now you can see we're offering, savings of $156 a month and residual of only $29. So let's go ahead and click Increase Margin a couple times, as I showed you in the last video, which basically just very easily takes the pricing up. We're now at 50 basis points and 10 cents. Let's click it one more time. Now we're at 60 basis points and 12 cents. We're saving them $87 a month. We're making $80 a month. So it's really nice to be able to see our margin. I'm sorry, I'm right here. Now we're able to really see our margin here that we're now saving them 103, and our residual is 42. So let's go ahead and click on Present. So now we're back to where we were in the last demo video, but now rather than going with this document here, what we're going to do is we're going to click on Side by Side, Create Side by Side. This is going to take us to a form where we can enter all of the fees from the current statement. So it splits everything up in much, much more detail, which is really nice. And we can see everything from changing the volume and the number of transactions to changing the pass-through, the monthly fees, the batch fees, everything you would want to put on there. You can just put right here. You can even change things like the network access brand usage fee if you see those are marked up and you want to do a comparison against that. So I'm going to kind of leave everything as it is for the purposes of this demo, but just understand you can change all of these things. And then as we go through and bring it all up, we can now click on Continue. This Continue is now going to take us into kind of the heart of the application, what's happening behind the scenes that you haven't seen so far in the other demos. The reason the Instant Quote tool is so accurate is that, unlike other tools in the industry right now that are promising to guess what the interchange is, they usually mean they're going to guess the interchange as a percentage of volume, meaning, oh sure, a pizza shop's normally going to be at 1.75% interchange. Well, there's a couple really, really big problems with that. Number one, one pizza shop isn't always like another pizza shop. There are many, many different variables, and even in the same pizza shop, you're going to have variation from month to month. So when you put information into our tool, what we do is we go find similar business types in our database. We pull up interchange tables from those statements, and we actually build the most statistically probable interchange table from scratch. Now that does two things. Number one, it allows us to really add up all of the fees and get an accurate estimate of what the total interchange should be based on things like average ticket variation. You're in a fine dining restaurant, your small ticket average ticket size for those types of transactions is going to be a lot lower than something like the Merit 3 base debit rewards card. Okay? So as you go down through and see all of these different things, what you're going to find is that you're going to see variations in the average ticket, which again, all of this is equating to a more accurate estimate of interchange. What else does it do? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because we know what the interchange table is, we can adjust the interchange table with method assumptions that we have, credit card assumptions, All of these different assumptions are the assumptions that are underlying the proposal. So if the interchange looks like it's off a little bit, it's because one of these assumptions might be a little bit skewed for that particular business type. And even though we do our best to be as accurate as possible, you can always make adjustments here. Also, you can go up to the top and just simply click on this and change it. So let's say that you're proposing interchange of $2.58 because you say, I really just want to match what they currently have. Well, you can certainly do that. That's going to change the interchange table and make sure it matches up. Once you're done on this page, you can click on Compare, which is going to take you right back to where we were before. And now if we go back to your program here, we can click on Present. It's still remembered all of the pricing changes we made. Now we can go to side by side and look at what we have here. We now have a side by side comparison that shows apples to apples comparison for pass-through costs, processing, other fees, all of that. And then it breaks down those processing costs. And then even further, it breaks down by car type. So more of a traditional side-by-side comparison you might be used to seeing. Now, to be honest with you, our users, even our ISO users, don't use the side-by-side that much. Once they get comfortable with the tool, they're usually fine with the detail view. It's less complicated to create, less time-consuming for sure. But when you want to go the extra mile, especially with a larger volume merchant, where if our algorithm is off by 5 or 6 basis points, that becomes a big deal when someone's doing $100,000 a month. You might want to go through the side-by-side process to adjust the interchange and make sure that everything's matching up exactly right. Thank you so much for taking time to watch these short demo videos. If you have any questions, reach out to us at ccsalespro.com. Again, my name is James Shepard. Thank you for your time today. Have a wonderful day.